Generation Next, Generation Next, Generation. Fun fact, until today I thought they were singing Generation Max because of Pepsi Max. Anyway, welcome to this hot take on the Generation Wars. That basically means that I have something to add to a conversation, I think. The Generations War thing is not exactly hot off the press. It's been around for a while, but one of my favourite commentary YouTubers made a video about it recently, and I found myself staring at his video with dissonance, sparking a thought in my head. I should make a video about how we think about the generations all wrong. And here it is. The idea of generations is that you have shared experience in life with other people around the same age as you. And this leads to sweeping statements like, millennials are obsessed with avocados. Boomers are money-hungry hoarders who destroyed the world with consumerism and are angry at millennials for not doing the same. But I feel that you can't conclusively say that all people in an age range think the same. And if you're thinking, well, it's more of a majority, enough of that age range do it, then just say that. Be specific. Why simplify? We're not speaking old entish. It's just a few extra words. Experiences cannot possibly apply to everyone in a generation, and this is why. There are approximately 7 living generations. The greatest generation, whose name has the energy of a group of people who go to a pub quiz and call themselves the winners, was born between 1901 and 1927. They're aged between 95 and 121, which is a 26-year gap. So, people of this generation could be the same generation as their parents. Is a 26-year-old really experiencing the world the same way a newborn is? The silent generation, who are called this because of their collective experience of war and the Great Depression, were born between 1928 and 1945. They are aged 77 to 94, so this is a 17-year gap. Baby boomers, who are called this because of the amount of children they had compared to their war-torn parents, were born from 1946 to 1964, so aged 58 to 76, an 18-year difference. Generation X, who don't get a cool nickname, but probably because X is the coolest letter in the alphabet, were born from 1965 to 1980, so aged 42 to 57, around a 15-year gap, which is kind of what it is going forward. Millennials, who are named after coming of age at the millennium, which most millennials did not do, were born between 1981 and 1995. If you were born in 95 and you were 5 years old at the millennium, then puberty sure hit you early. Then there's Gen Z, who are also known as Zoomers, which is just a play on Boomers. They were born between 1996 and 2010. To put this in context, the earliest Gen Z are now 26 and the youngest are 12. And even with this smaller age gap, I'm pretty sure that the 26-year-olds out there and the 12-year-olds out there do not feel like they are having the same experience of life at the moment. Then we have Generation Alpha, who are being born right now. Alpha goes back to the start of the alphabet, which is why it's not a very creative name. But we can't blame Gen Alpha for the banality of their name. They didn't invent it. The first baby born in 2011 didn't pop out and go, "We're here, Generation Alpha." Someone else in history designed the naming of the generations. Do you see what I'm getting at here? This leads nicely into my next point. Stuff we think belongs to a generation was invented by the previous generations. Here's an example. Some say I was born in 1991. Some say that a professor was mixing sugar, spice, and everything nice when he accidentally dropped chemical X into the potion and created me. Either way, I count as a millennial, and something that came up in this whole war was millennial fashion. In the 2010s, slogan t-shirts were in. Slogans like, #adulting, YOLO, Ya Yeet. Do you think it was a teenager sat at the headquarters of Bland T-shirt Company making these decisions to put these slogans on t-shirts? Or was it some Gen Xer or Boomer looking to make a quick buck? Oh, but they were reflecting young people's interests. Okay then, a battle in the recent generational war between millennials and Gen Z was jeans. Do we like them skinny or do we like them baggy? Do we like them high waist or do we like them low, rise? I don't know why we don't say waist for the low version, it's rise instead. But ultimately, fashion trickles down from the catwalks to the shops. If you've seen The Devil Wears Prada, you will know what I'm talking about.
In 2002, Oscar de la Renta did a collection of cerulean gowns, and then I think it was Yves Saint Laurent, wasn't it, who showed cerulean military jackets? I think we need a jacket here. And then cerulean quickly showed up in the collections of 8 different designers. And then it filtered down through the department stores and then trickled on down into some tragic casual corner where you no doubt fished it out of some clearance bin. However, that blue represents millions of dollars and countless jobs. And it's sort of comical how you think that you've made a choice that exempts you from the fashion industry when in fact you're wearing a sweater that was selected for you by the people in this room from a pile of stuff.
Who's setting the fashion standards? The people with established careers in fashion. The popularity of skinny jeans is widely attributed to Ye, a Gen Xer. Now, I didn't personally wear many tops or jeans in the 2010s. I was going through my own phase where I wore quirky dresses. I liked the quirky girl, now in Technicolor, looks like she got lost on the way to the library style. And my style icon at the time, the person that I drew inspiration from, was Zooey Deschanel, a late Gen Xer. But let's move away from fashion. I'm a big, old school Simpsons fan. I reference The Simpsons all the time, and my understanding of the world and my sense of humour has largely come from the show. There are so many things in my life that I have had a realization is a real thing and not just the plot of a Simpsons episode. So it has really shaped who I am as a person. Was it other kids who were writing The Simpsons? No, it was boomers. And I know The Simpsons was really huge. There was Simpsons Mania and all that stuff. But amongst my friends and other creatives, there's a deep love for The Simpsons that goes way beyond just enjoying it as a TV show. That era of The Simpsons uniquely tapped into the youth of the 90s, even though it was written by people who had lived the prior 4 decades. I have considered making a video about The Simpsons, but honestly, it would be a feature-length documentary and I don't know if I have the time to do that. Maybe when I hit a milestone. Anyway, the point I'm making is that people my age and the things that we engage with and the things that we like were produced by the previous generations. And this is the same for everyone. If you spend any time online, you'll get quite familiar with the different generations, and within that, what different things people like. People are often quite quick to say that Gen Z are very environmentally conscious, and sure, some of them are, but I hate to break it to you, a lot of Gen Z love a fashion haul. A fast fashion haul. I'm talking hundreds of pounds of cheap clothing made from plastics in unethical factory conditions where the workers get paid pennies, shipped across the globe, opened and tried on once, to then be discarded because it's not made well and either falls apart or doesn't fit right. And hey, maybe it was only bought for that one TikTok video anyway. This hyper-consumerism is not new and it's not exclusive. It's exactly what boomers and Gen X and millennials have all done for years. But it was specifically nurtured by certain boomers in the 60s, 70s and 80s. In fact, the fast fashion problem started with the movement of manufacture out to the global east in the 80s in pursuit of the lowest production costs. There's also a rise in interest in astrology amongst some Zoomers and some people across generations as well. But it's something that many new age boomers went through in the 60s and 70s. And side hustles, be your own boss narratives, MLMs are just pyramid schemes rebranded. It's almost as if culture is cyclical and we're all taking part in it in different ways at the same time. I think that's going to be my go-to response the next time someone generalizes a generation. I've just realised that general and generation probably have the same etymology. Anyway, whatever generation you are, I'm glad you watched my video to the end. Please break the mold of your assumed shared experience and subscribe to my channel. That's how it works, I'm sure. Stick it to the man. Pop off, sis. However it is that you want to do what you do. See you next time.